It is now my pleasure to introduce to you our 2016 commencement speaker, Robert J. Kauffman. Bob Kauffman currently serves as managing partner of the law firm of Hartley, Rao, and Fowler in Douglasville, Georgia, and is president of the State Bar of Georgia. Mr. Kauffman's law practice includes commercial real estate transactions, real estate finance, and estate planning. His passion for his clients and for the difference that lawyers make in the lives of others is clear when you hear him speak of the legal profession. He lives out those ideals not only in his law practice, but also in his long history of community service and leadership activities within the profession. In addition to serving consecutive terms as president of the Douglas County Bar Association, Mr. Kauffman held multiple leadership positions for the State Bar of Georgia before being inaugurated as the 53rd president of the State Bar in June of 2015. The State Bar, as you may know, is an organization of all lawyers licensed to practice law in Georgia, and there are almost 50,000 members of the State Bar. Under his thoughtful and visionary guidance, the Bar is effectively navigating the challenges of a changing profession and a changing world. He has been a strong advocate for the continued independence of the judiciary and for continued self-regulation of the profession. Now, Bob Kauffman's distinguished career would make him a fitting speaker to mark the occasion of a new group of Mercer Law students becoming lawyers. But of course, he has more in common with you members of the class of 2016 than just shared membership in the profession. Because like you, he began his legal career upon entering Mercer Law School. He came to Mercer after earning a BA in business from Western Illinois University, and he received his JD here in 1988. Mr. Kauffman and his wife Sue, to whom he has been married for 23 years, have 2 children, Joey and Chris. Bob Kauffman's commitment to public service and to using his time, talents, and purpose to improve Georgia is emblematic of our Mercer Law School motto that our graduates are prepared for practice and committed to serve. This year, he is one of 5 Mercer Law graduates leading the state. In addition to his representing us as president of the State Bar of Georgia, Mercer Law alumni currently serve in the following roles. Governor of the state of Georgia, Nathan Deal, is our graduate, as is Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Georgia, the Honorable Hugh Thompson. Chief Judge of the Georgia Court of Appeals, the Honorable Sarah Doyle, and President of the Young Lawyers Division of the State Bar of Georgia, Jack Long. We are very pleased to welcome Bob Kauffman as our commencement speaker. Welcome.
Good morning. I am honored to join you in this celebration of your academic accomplishments and an important milestone in your journey to becoming a lawyer. I would like to thank Dean Daisy Floyd for this invitation, and I salute her, the entire administration, this faculty, for continuing the 143-year-old tradition of Mercer Law in upholding the highest standards of legal education and producing outstanding additions to the legal profession throughout our state and our nation. As somebody who 28 years ago walked the same path that you're about to go down, I can tell you that Walter F. George School of Law at Mercer University still holds and always will hold a special place in my heart. I am forever grateful and proud to be a Mercer Law graduate, and I can state with confidence that in the years to come, you also will share that appreciation and pride as well. Now, I'm sure I don't have to tell you the value of staying in touch with your classmates, whether that's through the Mercer Alumni Association or less formal networking. Look around you. No doubt, some of the future leaders of our profession are within your midst this morning. You would do well to remember their names and faces. Several of my classmates and from the class just before me or right after me, who graduated from Mercer Law, include a former Georgia Secretary of State who's now a college president, several judges, district attorneys, U.S. attorneys, public defenders, senior in-house corporate counsel, and managing partners of large, small, medium-sized law firms. So keep in touch with your classmates. You may need one of them someday. I am certainly honored to be the most recent Mercer alumnus to serve as president of the 47,000-member State Bar of Georgia. But as you just heard, the president of the Young Lawyers Division, Jack Vaughn, our Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals, Sarah Doyle, our Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in Georgia, Hugh Thompson, and our Governor, Nathan Deal, all sat where you are sitting now. Yes, you should be proud of this institution and its reputation for service to others. Now, serving in the State Bar leadership, it does take a lot of work, but the most positive parts are having the opportunity to get to know other lawyers. Those who don't live and work in my community, those who went to another law school who may practice a different type of law, and who come from different personal backgrounds and life experiences. So with this chance to interact with such a diverse group of colleagues representing every corner of our state, I've come to realize the tremendous impact that what lawyers do every day has on people. Be advised, you will have an impact on people's lives. So, my first advice to you today is no matter what area of law you go into, do your job. Let's say it again, do your job. Representing your clients and your firms requires your best professional effort every day. It's an old phrase, but the easy things become a lot harder if you put forth the mediocre effort. And you're going to find that if you go the extra mile, it's a lot less crowded. And you are going to find greater satisfaction. You're not going to worry about having to pay your bills. And your reputation among your peers will be second to none. Now, while the job market in Georgia is a little bit better than it was in the worst economic downturn in the last decade, it should be noted that your dream job may or may not be waiting for you. You know, when I was hired fresh out of here, I went to Douglasville, Georgia, which was a very small town at the time, and my plan was to work there, be thrown in the fire, which I was, and then go to one of the big skyscrapers in downtown Atlanta. But 28 years later, I'm still in the same firm, same good group of lawyers, and my wife Sue and I realized the experience of working and raising a family in a smaller community, the benefits, and it didn't take long for us to put the big city plans on permanent hold. I decided there was no reason to leave a great law firm in a community where my home, my church, the ball fields, my kids' schools are all within 10 minutes or less of each other. But on the surface, I understand the quality of life benefits of living and working in a small town may be less convincing to a young lawyer, especially young lawyers who may have a lot of debt. But anybody frightened by the economic prospects for small town practice should consider the real need for attorneys that now exist in smaller communities. We've had a steep decline in the number of lawyers in these communities. In addition, a growing number of older lawyers' careers are ending with no continuation plan in place. Many of these lawyers are nearing the end of their active years of practice, and they'd love to be able to bring in somebody to take care of their firm's clients. Fortunately, the State Bar Young Lawyers Division has launched a succession planning pilot program, and it's designed to meet needs of new and recent law school graduates who are looking for jobs, as well as those seasoned lawyers who would like their clients to continue to be well represented. So if you're interested in taking advantage of this opportunity, contact Stephanie Powell here or the Young Lawyers Division. Now, for those of you that may have some debt, and I bet there's a few that have some student loans, I did too. I was buried. But I'm going to tell you a story that helped I remember after leaving law school, it helped me change my focus. And it's a story when I was 19 years old. When I was in college, during the summers and in the winter, I worked third shift in a paper plant. Now, third shift in a paper plant, there aren't a lot of people around. It's not the busiest shift. But it was 3 in the morning one night, and I was standing by the printing press, and the janitor came over to me and he said, "Hey, college boy, what's wrong with you tonight?" They never called me Bob, they called me college boy. And I looked at him and I said, I have this dream of becoming a lawyer, but it's so far out there, I can't even imagine. He said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "I'm 19. He said, "Well, how old are you going to be when you get out?" I said, 25, which 19 and 25 seems like an eternity. But he looked at me right in the eye and he said, "Well, you're going to be 25 anyway, right?" And that's when it hit me between the eyes. That regardless, the years are going to go by, so I might as well keep working, focused, and achieve the dream. I've used this way of thinking many times in my life, especially when I had to repay those student loans over my first 10 years of practice. So I challenge you to imagine yourself achieving certain goals, make the plan, stick to it. It will become second nature, because like it or not, the world's going to keep turning and clocks will keep ticking. Now, as lawyers, taking care of your daily responsibilities to our clients and our firms also means you must take care of yourself. For busy lawyers, the quantity and quality of time that you may share with the people most important to you sometimes can be reduced because of the nature of our job and the additional responsibilities that come with it. This is why one of my major initiatives for the state bar is a wellness program to promote healthy eating, exercise, stress management, debt management, work-life balance, and many other areas to establish crucial maintaining strong and physical and mental well-being. You must take care of yourself. You have to schedule this time. Nobody else will. And I hate to tell you this, but if you don't schedule the time to exercise and eat right, there will be no time after you die. Now, I encourage you that wherever you end up living and working, become active in community service and leadership. Lawyers bring to those organizations tremendous value, which is returned to you through the benefits of being plugged into your community. Aside from the networking benefits and joining community groups, professional or otherwise, it's a good way to make friends. And it makes me feel good to have friends in my town that'll help watch over my kids and give me a call if they're ever in the ditch. But it's a good way to be plugged into your community, because you will be improving the public image of lawyers. I don't think that image is as bad as some people think, but it is constantly under attack. So, one of my final requests is for you to constantly fight for your profession, a unified bar, an independent judiciary, and the rule of law. Because if lawyers do not stand up to these principles, no one else will. Please become active in the state bar or your Young Lawyers Division, your local bar, and their amenity specialty bars. It's incumbent upon all members of the bar to get out there, be engaged in these activities to serve and protect the constitutional foundation of our American system of justice. Now, today, as you prepare to accept this degree and responsibilities that come with it, I have a few questions, statements for y'all, and you have to answer them. But the good news is, there's only one answer to all the questions, and I'm going to tell you the answer. The answer is lawyers. The first question, and y'all need to realize this: who did Adolf Hitler get rid of in order to achieve his diabolical goals? The answer? Lawyers. Lawyers and judges. If you want to terrorize a segment of population, a tyrant must remove those that fight for the rule of law and an independent judiciary. Remember that. What was the main occupation of some of our founding fathers for our great nation? Thank you. Now you're waking up. What do Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and Thurgood Marshall, what do they all have in common? They were... Good. Who's been leading the fight for civil rights in China, Egypt, Iran, and elsewhere? Who fights for constitutional rights for those without means? Who do businesses need to ensure that contracts are enforceable, patents are protected, money can exchange hands properly, and property can be transferred securely and responsibly? There we go. Last one. Who helps ensure that products we use every day are safe? Very good. I got to tell you about that. I saw a bumper sticker at the courthouse a while back. I pulled in behind this car, and the sticker on the bumper said, "If you hit me and our cars don't blow up, think a trial lawyer." Now, you can be proud of what you're going to do. You can also be proud to be graduates of the Walter F. George School of Law at Mercer University, whose alumni have earned a reputation for living up to Mercer's commitment to service to what they have done for their clients, their firms, their community, their state, their nation, the legal profession, and our justice system. This legacy now belongs to you. As I stand here today, I know I am looking at the future leaders of our courtrooms, our service organizations, the halls of government, and hopefully maybe a future bar president. Now, the last piece of advice is the words that were provided to me and my classmates 30 years ago when I walked into my contracts class the first day. Professor Ed Wilson was our professor, and he came around and sat on the desk and looked at all of us and waved his finger at us, and he said, "Now you kids, I'm going to tell y'all something, and I want you to hear it. I want y'all to practice law for love, because you need to love what you do. But I want you to marry for money." Actually, I did both for love, and I can assure you it still works out. Thank you for allowing me to join you, and God bless each and every one of you.